Hi, my friends. We're here. Hello. How are you? How are we doing? I have been deep, deep in content creation mode, and not just content, but so my signature program, Magnetic Messaging Club, is something I've had for almost a year now, and it's had its own evolution. And I was about to relaunch it. And about 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, a week ago, I stopped launching it. Maybe you noticed, I don't know. But I was putting out pre-sale kind of stuff and was like, holy shit, I know exactly what I need to do with this program. And almost in like a flash of inspiration, realized I needed to add some things and re-articulate some things within the program. And so this week, next week, I am like re-recording things and reorganizing things and really pulling it all together because I realized what this program was for the students in it. And I'm so excited. Like it's such a fun process. It's also nitty gritty too. I'm not going to lie. Like it's nitty gritty to go through and create slideshows and to do all these, like the doing, right? Like I'm deep in the weeds of doing in my business. And there's obviously things that can feel heavy with that. Like, oh, this is a lot of work, but in that work, I feel so deeply connected to what you are wanting, what you guys are saying that you need, the support that you need, the articulation, the clarity that you're reaching for. Like, I feel all of that. And I'm putting it into this program because I know that people need it. I know that we just want to be done wondering why our messaging isn't working or what is not working about it. Like, right. And wondering why someone can put an offer out there and it sells and you are struggling to do that, and overthinking your messaging and over analyzing it, constantly rewriting things, not trusting yourself, like all of that. Like, we're done with it. Like, we shouldn't have to deal with that anymore. We have the tools, we have the knowledge, it's a matter of implementing it, right? And that's what this program is all about. That's why I'm so freaking excited about it and what I'm putting into that program. And to kind of kick it off again, I have a live masterclass that is on May 21st. That's going to go into like using your human design in your messaging. What the heck does that mean? What parts and pieces do we need to look at? Right? We're going to go into your dream client and understanding what they need. Well, how do we speak to them? This is such an important piece that I feel like a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs forget or just don't quite understand how to do because we get so lost in our own story and in our own magic that we forget to look at it from our client's perspective, right? I'm going to show you a really easy way to do this. That's not I help statements. That's not like where do they shop? Like, we don't care about that, right? I want you getting at the heart of your dream client. What are they really wanting? What are they really asking for? So that you can position your magic, the way of you, your way of being, as the solution to their problem. And then we're also going to look at like, how do we consistently create a message? What does that look like? Not only the consistency, but the cohesiveness, right? From freebies to offers to the whole thing, right? There is a strategy behind messaging. There's a strategy behind communicating what you do to your clients to make this easier, not only for yourself, but for them, right? So that they know coming to your page, what you do, how to work with you. And it takes a lot of that guesswork out of it, right? That's creating that cohesive, consistent message. And we're going to talk about that in the live masterclass. So that's all happening May 21st. I'm going to drop the link after this and make sure that you are on the list so you get to come enjoy it. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Um, Okay, today I wanted to talk. Oh, good morning, Divian. Oh, it's so good to see people. Yay. And it's so good to see that the comments are working. Okay, so today's topic, I wanted to talk about Mercury Gate because I feel like this one gets a lot of clout out there in like the HD world. It gets a lot of clout in like, this is the thing that's going to tip the iceberg. And there's something I want to say about it. Hey, Annalisa, love it. Hey, hey, hey. I hope I'm saying your name right. Anna, oh my gosh, I don't want to butcher your name, love. I'm Annaliska, right? Annaliska. It's a beautiful name. Um, okay. Mercury gets a lot of clout out in the world about being that like tipping point. You figure out your Mercury gate, and suddenly you have the floodgates of people finding you and coming to you. And I want to say that that's not always the case. I didn't necessarily experience that. My client, I mean, sometimes yes, sometimes no. And I want to kind of dispel some myths around this so that you can feel like this. And the reason that I want to talk about this is because we put so much pressure on it, right? We put so much pressure on figuring these parts and pieces out, thinking that they're going to be like the key that suddenly unlocks the case, right? And that's not really how messaging works. Messaging works as a puzzle, right? You have this piece, this piece, this piece, and this piece, and you put it all together. And that's what creates the magnetic message. That's what creates the messaging that makes people go, oh my God, where have you been all my life? Right? It's lots of different pieces that all come together in a puzzle. And yes, one piece can be like that linchpin a little bit in that, oh, that was the one piece I was missing. And then everything falls into place. But it can also be like you have one piece, but all the other pieces are fucked up, for lack of a better word, or not in the right place. And it's not that one piece isn't going to solve the puzzle. Does that make sense? Um, yeah, that's totally easier. And is okay. So that's there's this myth that this Mercury gate is going to be that puzzle piece that solves everything. And that's not the case if all the other pieces are messed up. So I just want to get that kind of out of the way that this isn't the only puzzle piece. And I also don't want to overcomplicate it. And this is what I do in my programs is dispelling these beliefs and really laying the groundwork, laying out that roadmap to make this easier to put these puzzle pieces together. This is my like freaking genius that I love putting these puzzle pieces together and helping you figure out the Mercury Gate, the like, what's your unique selling point and how do we talk to your clients and how do we put all that together so that the puzzle works, right? Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay. Exactly. Okay. So if we're looking at our Mercury Gate, I mean, it is an important piece to it. I feel like it's not words. It's not specific words that you're coming to the table with. It can be, maybe, but for the most part, most people feel like it's an energy behind the words, right? Like you can take my gate. Gate 12 is the channel. It's this energy of knowing what to say and when to say it. And if it's off, if you're not in alignment or if you're not in that higher expression, then it feels like there's a lump in your throat. And I can totally attest to this. If I am not aligned, if I am like, I don't know, focused on the wrong thing or focused on the problem, right? Being in that lack mentality, I'm not in that highest expression of gate 12 and I don't channel. I don't say the right things. I feel like it's like just, it's all caught up, right? And I can't articulate. And so when you're looking at your Mercury Gate, and if you have my custom report, if you bought the $37 custom report, you have the list of Mercury Gates broken up in the way I look at them and the higher expression, the lower expression, and how to interpret that into your messaging. But when you're looking at it, your Mercury Gate, you're looking at that higher expression. What is that? What are those words? What is the lower expression? And really understanding how that plays into your mission and your mission in your business, right? And the way I look at mine is that like my mission is to really help you articulate. It's been not the easiest thing for me, which I feel like is somewhat a vulnerable, ironic piece that articulating what I do hasn't been the easiest thing, but yet this is also what I do. Does that make sense? Like, it feels like this should be the easy thing. I'm not aligned too. Has not been the easy thing. It's been the thing that I've struggled with. And there's been parts that have just confused me and pissed me off and drove me nuts until I learned to be in that higher expression of the Mercury Gate, of that gate 12, and trusting what I have to say and connecting, tapping in and connecting to my higher self so that I can say the things that need to be said, right? And articulate what I want to articulate. Oh, I'm so glad you love the report. Okay, you have 48 and 56. 9 sometimes drives me crazy. I will be totally honest. I do not have all the gates memorized, but my open head, open ajna just doesn't memorize 64 gates. That's too many gates, y'all. Way too many gates. But we can talk about them, and I can look them up, and we can kind of tap into what is this energy saying, right? Okay, so Divyana, let's see, 48. Let's go look at that really, really quick. Wisdom. Oh my God, I love that. Okay, so that higher expression is wisdom. And number one, do you trust your own wisdom? Do you feel like you tap into wisdom when you're talking? Anytime that you're going to write content, write a sales page, an email, I sit down and make sure that I am tapped in to who I am and my higher self, right? And tapping in, what does that energy of gate 48 and wisdom feel like in your body? And making sure that you are in that energy when you're writing, when you're speaking, going live, all of those things, right? And understanding that the lower expression is paralysis, feeling inadequate, right? Feeling like you're not enough. Like anytime that you write something, you're like, God, that sucked. Like that's that lower expression, right? And yes, and talking more so than writing, I often say, wow, I wish I was yeah. Oh my God, I'm all the time like that. I wish I was recording half the time because I don't even remember what I said, right? So with that lower expression and feeling like not enough, when you're writing, does that come into play? Even, and understanding that that's there for you to go, ooh, this is that lower expression. How can I trust my wisdom more? Right. And lean more into my own wisdom to share with people, because that wisdom is what people are coming to you for. They really like unconsciously are drawn to that wisdom. They're like, God, what do you have to say? I want to know. Right. Okay. Where was the other one? 56. I'm guessing your 48 was your conscious and 56 is your unconscious expansion. So 56, the ability to share stories, girl, stories, inspirations that stimulate expansion. Okay, perfect. So 56, the way I look at the conscious and unconscious Mercury is that you want to look at the conscious first and foremost, because that's the one that we're going to be more aware of. And then once you feel comfortable with that and where you're like, I am, for the most part, I'm always in that higher expression. Like I come to the table with that. I feel really good in it, right? Then looking at the unconscious and going, ooh, how can I bring this in? There are so many parts and pieces to human design and understanding how to implement it into your business that it can be super, super overwhelming. So taking one step at a time, one piece of the puzzle and getting really comfortable and embodying that first, and then moving on to the next. Let's see. The not enough feeling has been my biggest hindrance. Yeah, girl, that's unlocking that is going to make such a huge difference in your business. I can attest to it. So there's a lot of inadequacy in my, I have gate 38, which is also inadequacy and not feeling like enough, and understanding that frequency and understanding when I'm in it and how it's affecting my business has been the biggest game changer in being able to scale and attracting the right people, like all of that, really understanding those shadows is what unlocks the higher expressions, if that makes sense. Oh, good. Yeah, that helps to have one piece. Yeah, one piece to focus on. Like trying to do all of it is just going to overwhelm, especially if you have an undefined ajna, is going to be like, I don't know where to go, right? I don't know where to go from here. So focusing on one piece at a time. So once you feel comfortable where that inadequacy doesn't feel as big as like intrusive in your writing, in your sales pages, in your offers, then looking at 56 and it's storytelling. So how can you add more storytelling into your messaging? And the magnetic messaging club has a whole storytelling piece to it. Because there's lots of people with storytelling gates. Okay, let's go back to Angus. What did you say? 9. Angus. Agnes. Okay, convergence. Ooh. Oh, I'm gonna go back down. The ability to see the big picture and prioritize where to focus your energy. So with that, it's helping others see that big picture too. Like, do you see the big picture and know what to focus on? Are you in that energy of like, I know exactly what I need to be doing right now that leads to where I want to go, right? And helping others do that as well. But that lower expression of feeling pressure to figure out where to put your focus. So it's almost like, I don't know where, and I'm really stressed out, and it really like, it feels overwhelming, right? And understanding that that's kind of where was I going with that? That when you're overwhelmed and you don't know where to place your focus, right? That's going to come through on your content in your sales pages, right? Oh yes, it's what I do in hires, but yay! Okay, perfect, awesome. Then it's leaning more into that, even showing your clients then. So number one, the first step is understanding how you can be in that higher expression first and foremost, right? And your own journey from the lower to the higher. And then once you're in that higher expression more often, then it's like, okay, how can I really help my clients do this? Right. And it's like this undertone in your offers. It's the undertone in your entire offer suite, if that makes sense. So for me, it's like an undertone of like always showing you how to articulate in some way. Like maybe it's a piece of the puzzle, maybe it's the whole puzzle, but all in all, like I am going to intertwine it into all of the pieces. Oh wait, 3-5 many gen. So I want to go all over the place. Yeah, you do. A 3-5 projector too. Guys, I love the threes. Like we don't get, I think the threes get so caught in worrying about not doing it right that you miss the whole point of it. The whole point is to make mistakes, right? And the faster you make those mistakes, the more that you learn, the more that you can take that into the practical solutions, that fifth line, into helping people. Ooh, love it. Yeah. So Mercury Gate is that underlying energy to your messaging, right? First step is understanding how you go to that higher expression, from the lower to the higher. And then once you're feeling comfortable with that, going, okay, how can I help my clients do that? Right. And how can I intertwine this energetics throughout all of my offers? Right. Like that's essentially what we're doing with Mercury Gate. You can look at your Mercury Gate and go, oh, like we could take a look at 9. Maybe you like the idea of big picture and helping them prioritize their focus. Like those words work. A lot of the gates, well, there's still a handful of gates that are very esoteric, they don't translate to a specific word. It's energy. Sometimes you can pull a word out and it works, and other times not. Pretty much all the people close to me have 3 lines. That's awesome. They're probably like everyone's bumping up into each other and making lots of mistakes. And I feel like when you're a third line, if you were a kid and your parents told you not to make mistakes or shamed you for mistakes or felt like you should have it figured out, that's when you get to be an adult that can't handle the mistakes. And I feel like I'm sixth line. So I had a lot of 3 in the beginning of wanting to get my hands in the clay and just make mistakes. I still do. Like you can't tell me what to do. I still want to like figure it out for myself. Um, Even though I'm like well onto the roof, but if you're not comfortable making those mistakes and seeing them as learning, seeing them as not failures at all, but like you taking steps towards what you want, then you're going to like hamstring your own growth. You're going to like block your ability to grow and evolve, because being that third line, experimenting, trial and error is so freaking important to your life experience. Um, yeah. Oh, I love it. So that's basically how I look at Mercury Gate and why it sometimes can work and sometimes can't, right? We have to look at it, number one, from a like puzzle aspect, and this is a piece of the puzzle. And then really understanding, are you in that higher expression most of the time? If not, how can you bring more awareness to it? How can you put uh, like parameters or intention setting around that awareness so that you can be in that higher expression? Like I said, like I wasn't in the higher expression of gate 12 for a long time. It really was a struggle. And it wasn't until I sat and meditated, connected, really trusted what I was about to say beforehand that it started to sink in, and like, okay, I'm not going to overthink what I'm writing. I still like sometimes will forget to do the meditating, or like I have a half an hour to work. And so instead of intention setting and like pre-paving, Abraham Hicks calls it pre-paving, and I love it. Like you sit before you sit and do anything, you're going to pre-pave and go, okay, I'm going to tap in and really feel into like what I need to be doing right now and how I want it to go and all of that. And sometimes when I don't have a ton of time, I don't do that, right? I just jump right into it. And that's when I'll find that that lower expression of gate 12 comes like out to play. And it's like, it's going to feel inadequate. The inadequacy, there's the like, I feel like I can't say what I want to say. I stumble over, I will write a bunch of stuff and then feel like I have to delete it, all of that kind of stuff. So that's why it's so, so important to understand and bring awareness to like, where are you on that energetic what's the word, energetic line from the high to low. Yeah. Okay. um Another way that you can use this energy, if you feel called, if story is part of your Mercury Gate, is telling your own story of how you went from that lower to the high, right? And creating content around it that really showcases how you became the expert in this energy, if that makes sense. You have to obviously be the expert and feel like you are in that energy all the time, or for like 99% of the time, to really feel that confidence and share it. So, does that make sense? Like that's basically Mercury, guys. It's not rocket science. That's it. That Yeah, I feel like the throat is a lot more in depth and deep, where Mercury is just, what is the high, low expression? How are you bringing that into your mission and feeling into that higher expression most of the time? And then that's it. Like, move on to the next thing. Move on to the next puzzle piece of what do your dream clients want, or what is the problem that you're solving? What is your unique selling point? All those other different pieces. So, yeah, come to love it. Love it. I never want somebody to think it's like over complicated or something that's not achievable, or all these things are super achievable, super easy to dispel when we take it like one bite at a time, right? And that's really what I want to do inside my programs, is really just take it one bite at a time and really dispel any of the like, I don't get it, what do I do with this kind of energy, and go, oh, well, this is who I am, and this is how I talk, and this is who I'm serving, and that's it, right? Like that. I want to get it that simple and that simplified. Come to the masterclass. I would love to see you there. May 21st. I'm going to drop the link here in just a minute to sign up for that free masterclass. And next week, I will be giving more information on the Magnetic Messaging Club and how you can join that. While I finish up the re-recording, like I'm not talking, I have 7 modules in there, you guys, 7 modules with like 4 or 5 lessons each. It's so, I'm in awe of how it came together and the organization. And I'm not necessarily the most organized person at all. You will find lots of little things out of place all the time, but how this is coming together is really paving a road to exactly like number one, figuring out who you are and how you speak and what is going to be the most magnetic message for you, who your dream client is, how do we speak to them, how do we create that message throughout your business, right? Understanding how it plays into your offers and your offer funnels and emails and like all these marketing terms that are out there, understanding how we put it all together and make that picture, that puzzle piece, that puzzle picture. So that's it. Do you guys have any other questions? I loved this conversation. Thank you for joining me. I loved it. I love having people to talk to, that MG in me, that response, having people to bounce the questions off of and enjoy it. So, sweet. I'm going to put this. So this will be live in the group. And then I'm also going to put it on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, awesome. I love it. All right, my friends, that's it. Thank you. Oh, good. I'm so glad. I'm glad that was helpful. And yeah, drop any other comment or questions that you have if you're watching on the replay, and I will answer those as well. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.